untrue. Absolutely untrue. Because this is only half of what's wrong with people who suffer from addiction. All right? And here's the other half. And this exists when addicts and alcoholics are not using. And it invariably has existed long before. Remember, you've got to think about addiction as a chronic disease. It didn't start when they picked up a drink. It may have started to show more obvious symptoms. But these symptoms predate first use. Right? Saturday nights, if you ever want to get a glimpse, Saturday nights at this podium, every week, an alcoholic in AA shares their story. I have been to thousands of open talks where alcoholics and addicts have shared their story. And if you didn't know better, you'd think they all had a childhood social phobia. Because they all get up and they have this anecdotal description of their emotional life before they drank or used. And it, first and foremost, is characterized by fear. The baseline emotional state of an alcoholic or a drug addict is fear. And any of you heard the comic Mark Maron, recovering addict who's a comic on TV? He actually nailed it better than the word fear. He calls it dread. He said that the emotional baseline of an addict or an alcoholic is a state of dread. Nails it. Right? And this is fear. Now, if you ask your average alcoholic or addict, are you afraid? They'll probably say no. Not because they aren't afraid, but because in order to survive as an addict, you have to suppress how you really feel. An untreated addict or alcoholic does not want to be in touch with their feelings because they get suicidally depressed, right? Because their baseline is to be afraid. Fear of real things, fear of imaginary things, fear of the next bad thing that's going to happen, but fear of the next good thing that's going to happen. They view life as a series of hurdles, of obstacles in front of them, right? If I make it through this week, if I make it through that family gathering, that party with grandma, if I make it out of middle school, if I make it if I get a college degree, if I get the proper spouse, everything is in front of them. And they're never right without it. So there's your first, and this is untreated, that's all they are, is scared. They wake up in the morning scared and they go to bed at night scared, right? Combined with a kind of existential loneliness. You know, this part of the brain, this midbrain, is sometimes referred to as the dopamine pleasure pathway. And it's unfortunate because people hear the word pleasure and they think character and they think hedonist, they think pleasure seeker. When in fact, addicts and alcoholics have trouble accessing normal pleasure.